All right, so we've got our template made, and now I've got my chocolate transfer sheet taped down onto my template. Now you want to make sure you can feel the pattern on one side. The other side is smooth and you can feel the pattern on one side. You want to make sure that the pattern is the side that's up, because that's what's going to adhere to your chocolate. So I've got it taped down. I've melted my chocolate in the microwave. Basically, I used Guittard Appeals, and I started at 30 seconds, and I just stirred it after 30, and then I did 10 seconds at a time until it was a nice smooth consistency, all melted. So now I'm just going to pour this over the top of my transfer sheet, get a lot on here, and I'm going to start spreading it thin. And I want to make sure and cover the entire transfer sheet. And I don't want it too thick, but I also don't want it too thin, because I'm going to need to be able to work with these. And if they're too thin, they're going to break. So I'm going to spread this all across it like this, nice and smooth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and I'm going to let it cool. Not for a long time, just for a little bit, but I want it shiny, and I also want to be able to work with it. So in order to do that, I need to put it in the refrigerator for just about a minute or two. So I've got it all smooth on here, nice and smooth. It doesn't really matter if the back is completely smooth, as long as it's kind of all the same thickness. So I'm going to slide a cookie sheet under here so I can lift it. And now I'm going to go put this in the refrigerator, and I'll come back when it's ready to take it out of the refrigerator. All right, so I've left it in the refrigerator really not a lot of time, only a couple of minutes, just until it started looking a little dull on the top. You don't want it completely frozen because you want to be able to cut it. So I'm going to measure my lines up, and I'm going to take my pizza cutter and just start cutting. And you want to do this before it completely hardens, or else you're going to break your chocolate. So you can see it's still a little sticky, but that's okay, because I want it to be able to cut it while it's still, see, the center is actually really sticky. So I'm going to go back to my side again over here where it's not quite as sticky, and cut this, because by the time I get to the center, I think that's going to be a little more hardened. So I'm following my lines. You see I'm lining up on the outside, because remember I told you you won't be able to see your lines underneath the chocolate. So I'm lining these up, cutting them with my pizza cutter. And if it still is a little soft, you really don't have to worry, because it's going to harden as you go. So my center is still a little too soft to cut. So I'm going to give it another minute, because I don't want it to break. So let me give that 1 minute to dry, to harden, and then we'll go. And like I said, I can't really tell you how long it's going to take, because everybody's refrigerator is different. It depends on the humidity, where you live. It's really just by eye. You want to make sure that it's still, a little tacky and not completely hardened. Okay, so I think this is good now to go back in and finish. So I'm doing all my cuts across like this. And this is going to be my last one across this way. And now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to do my horizontal cuts. Like that. Oh, my template moved just a hair, so I'm going to move it back again, because I don't want I want them to be even. So I'm going to cut that one. And then here. Oh, twist it a little bit, so let's line that up again. There we go. And our last cut across the bottom here. All right, now we want to make sure this completely hardens now. So we're going to put it back in the refrigerator for about another 2 minutes so it's completely hard, and then we're going to go ahead and start peeling them off and see how we did.